Think about it. You have a heart problem. Would you go to a general doctor or a cardiologist? Now think. There's a CEO who understands only finance, not marketing, not technology, not people. Would you invest in his company? See that you made a different choice each time. For the heart, you chose depth. For the investment, you chose breadth. So the question was never whether to be deep or broad. The question is when to go deep and when to go broad. Let me make this concrete. Picture two surgeons. The first one came in, calm, confident, ready, world class. But he only knows livers. Then the nurse whispers, "Doctor, this patient has a cardiac problem as well." And he pauses. Not because he isn't brilliant, because he went so deep into one thing that he never looked up. Now the second surgeon knows everything. Cardiology, oncology, psychiatry, reads every journal, attends every conference. But he hasn't operated in last 4 months because he keeps learning instead of doing. Both these surgeons can kill you. Somewhere between them is the most important question of your intellectual life. The people who actually win, they have figured out this sequence. Breadth first or depth first. How do you do both without becoming mediocre at either? How to go deep, how to go wide. That is what this video is about. Let me describe someone you probably know. He reads 3 books a month, different topics each time. Podcast on economics during the commute, philosophy before bed, productivity hacks in the gym. They can hold a conversation about quantum physics, geopolitics, AI, all in the same evening. They feel smart, they feel informed, they feel ready. Ready for what exactly? Here's the uncomfortable truth. In 2010, McKinsey introduced the T-shaped professional, one deep skill, broad general knowledge. That was the idea. By 2018, that evolved into the pie-shaped model, 2 deep skills, broad foundation. The word wasn't asking for more breadth, it was asking for more depth. But look at what gets rewarded on the surface. The person who can talk confidently about everything gets the room's attention. The person who knows one thing deeply sits quietly until there's a real problem. Then everyone runs to them. And here's the moment that changes everything. For the most people, you are in a room, job interview, board meeting, investment pitch. Someone asks you a real question, not a surface question. A question that requires genuine understanding. And you realize you have heard about this topic. You read a tweet about it. You watched a 10-minute YouTube video about it. But you cannot answer the question. Not properly. Not with the confidence of someone who actually knows. That moment, that specific humiliating pause, is the hidden cost this video is named after. And here's the brutal part. You didn't see it coming. Because breadth feels like knowledge. Surface familiarity feels like understanding. Psychologists call this as Dunning-Kruger effect. The less you actually know, the more confident you feel. The more you truly know, the more you realize how much you don't. Passive breadth keeps you permanently in the most dangerous zone of that curve. Impressive at dinner parties. Invisible when it actually matters. But here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying breadth is bad. Because the research says something which completely flips this conversation. And that's where we are going next. For decades, 2 camps have been fighting. On one side, the specialist. Go deep, master one thing, become the best in the world at it. That is how you create value. On the other side, the generalist. Stay broad. Connect the dots others can't see. The future belongs to those who can think across disciplines. Both sides have evidence. Both sides have examples. And both sides are right. The problem is They are answering the different question. Let's look at the specialist first. Anders Ericsson spent his career studying world-class performers, surgeons, chess grandmasters, Olympic athletes. His conclusion: 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, not just repetition, deliberate practice, focus, targeted, uncomfortable. The people at the top of any field didn't get there by dabbling. They get there by going so deep that they could see things that others can't even imagine. For example, Magnus Carlsen doesn't win at chess games because he reads books on psychology and physics. He wins because he has seen chess positions more than any human alive. Depth creates a kind of vision that breadth simply cannot manufacture. But then, look at the generalist. David Epstein, in his book Range, studied the world's most innovative thinkers and found something very surprising. The people who made the biggest breakthroughs in science, business, and art were often not the ones with the most narrow expertise. They were the ones who wondered. Darwin wasn't just a biologist, he was a geologist, a philosopher, an observer of human nature. Steve Jobs didn't just know technology, he knew calligraphy, Buddhism, design, storytelling. Einstein didn't just solve equations, he played violin and said his best ideas came between the notes. Breadth creates connections that depth alone cannot see. So, who is right? Here's what research actually says. In stable, well-defined fields, medicine, law, classical music, chess, depth wins. Rules are clear. Feedback is immediate. The game doesn't change mid-play. In complex, fast-changing environments, entrepreneurship, innovation, leadership, AI, breadth wins. The rules shift. The problems are new, and the person who can translate across domains sees the answer before the specialist even knows there's a question. But here's the part nobody talks about. The most dangerous thing you can do is to apply the wrong strategy in your field. A specialist mindset in a fast-changing world, you become obsolete. A generalist mindset in a precision field, you become dangerous. The win is not in choosing one. The win is in knowing which one the movement is asking for. And this is where it gets personal. Here's what nobody tells you. When you are in your 20s, 30s and building a career, you don't just pick a lane and stay there forever. The most successful people I have studied didn't choose between breadth and depth. They sequence them. And the people who figured out that sequence, those are the people we are looking at next. Nobody teaches you this at school, not in college, not in your first job, not in the productivity book you have ever read. But most effective people across every domain follow the same invisible pattern. They don't choose between depth and breadth. They sequence them. And the sequence matters more than any career decision you will ever make. Here's how it actually works. Stage 1. Go deep first. Pick one thing, not forever, but for long enough. Long enough to understand how mastery feels like. Long enough to develop taste, the ability to recognize quality in your field. Long enough to earn the credibility that makes you broader thinking land. Without this stage, everything else you build is on sand, because breadth without depth has no anchor. You become the person who knows a lot about a lot and can be trusted with none of it. Stage 2. Expand deliberately. Once you have depth, you start to look up, not randomly, not by scrolling Twitter for 3 hours, deliberately. You ask, what fields are solving problems similar to mine? What disciplines use different tools to arrive at the same destination. Watch someone from completely different world and see in my problem that I can't see from the inside of it. This is where the magic starts. Darwin reading Malthus on population economics and suddenly seeing natural selection. Jobs sitting in a calligraphy class and seeing in the future of personal computing. The expansion isn't accidental, it's targeted breadth, using your deep foundation as a compass for what to explore next. Stage 3. Become the bridge. This is the stage most people never reach, not because it's too hard, because they never knew it existed. The bridge is the person in the room who understands both worlds. The doctor who understands technology and redesigns how hospitals actually work. The engineer who understands human behavior and builds products millions of people love. The finance expert who understands storytelling and raises capital nobody else can touch. These people are not the deepest expert in the room. They are not the broadest thinker in the room. They are the most valuable person in the room because they translate, they connect, they see the solution that lives in this space between disciplines. And in the world, which is getting more complex and more specialized every year, bridges are what the world is starving for. Now, here's the honest part. This sequence is not a straight line. You will go deep and then you will go broader. Then you will find a new area to go deep in, broader again. It's a spiral, not a ladder. And the people who navigate it best are not the ones with the most talent. They are the ones who stay intentional about where they are in this sequence at every point in their career. They ask themselves, does this movement require me to go deeper or does it need me to look up? That one question asked consistently is worth more than any degree, any certification, any course you could ever take. But knowing the sequence is only half of it. The other half is knowing how to execute it without burning out, trying to do everything, without going so deep that you disappear, without going so broad that you drift. And that's what we are covering next. Everything so far has been philosophy, and philosophy without execution is just entertainment. So let's make it practical. Here's the exact framework that the best depth breadth navigators actually use. Not theory, not inspiration, operational. Principle 1. Anchor first. Before you expand, you need an anchor. One skill, one domain, one area where you are genuinely, verifiably good. Not perfect, not world class yet, but good enough that someone would pay you for it, trust you with it, come back to you with it. Your anchor is not your identity, it's your credibility passport. It's what gives you the right to be taken seriously. When you start connecting it to other fields, without an anchor, you are just someone with an opinion. With an anchor, you are someone with perspective. So the first question that you need to answer honestly, what's the one thing that I can go deepest into right now that the world would value? Write it down. That's your anchor. Principle 2. Expand in rings. Once you have an anchor, you don't randomly expand. You expand in rings. Ring 1. Adjacent skills. What skills sit directly next to your anchor? If you are a developer, that's product thinking. If you are a marketer, that's data literacy. If you are a designer, that's user psychology. Adjacent skills makes you immediately more effective at your core work. They don't pull you away from it, they sharpen it. Ring 2. Complementary domains. What fields use completely different methods to solve this similar problem. A surgeon studying how Formula One pit crew reduced error under pressure and bringing it into the operating theatre. That happened. It saved lives. Complementary domains don't just sharpen your skills, they transform it. Ring 3. Wildcard learning. One thing completely outside your world. No agenda, no application in mind. Architecture, philosophy, pottery, anything. This ring feels like the least productive. It is often where your most original ideas come from because the brain connects what it knows, and the wider the net, the more surprising the connections are. Principle 3. Protect your depth. This is the one most people skip, and it is the one that kills them. Because here's what happens when you start expanding. Everything feels interesting. Every podcast feels important. Every new skills feels urgent. And slowly, without even noticing, you stop going deep at anything. You become a collector of beginnings. So you have to protect your depth like it is your most valuable asset, because it is. Practically, this means 3 things. 1. Time block your deep work, not when you feel like it. Protected, scheduled, non-negotiable. 2. Say no to breadth that doesn't serve your anchor. All knowledge is not equal. Expanding in the direction of your anchor compounds. Random expansion just creates noise. 3. Measure your depth regularly, not by how much you have learned, by how much you can do. Can you solve harder problems than 6 months ago? Can you produce better work than last year? Depth is not measured in books read. It is measured in problem solved. Anchor first, expand in rings, protect your depth. That's the framework. Simple enough to remember, difficult enough to require discipline. But here's the thing, even with a perfect framework, there's one final question that nobody asks loud. The question that determines whether all of this changes anything for you, or whether you walk away, feel inspired for 2 days, and then go back to do things exactly what you were doing before. That's the question we are ending with. Here's the question. Not should I be a specialist or a generalist? Not how many books should I read this year? Not what skills should I add to my resume? The question is this. What problem do I want to be the person who solves? That's it. Everything else, depth, breadth, the sequence, the rings, all of it is just architecture. The foundation is the problem you choose. Because here's what that nobody tells you about breadth versus depth debate. It was never really about knowledge. It was always about purpose. The specialist who goes deep doesn't do it because a book told them to do so. They do it because there is a problem they care about so much that they are willing to spend years in uncomfortable, unglamorous work of truly understanding it. And the journalist who expands broadly doesn't do it out of curiosity of its own sake. They do it because the problem they have chosen is too big, too complex, too human to be solved from inside one discipline. The knowledge follows the problem, not the other way around. Every person who ever built something that lasted, every discovery that changed how we understand the world, every company that solved something real, every piece of art that made people feel less alone, started with someone who looked at the problem and said, I want to be the person who figures this out. Not I want to be impressive. Not I want to be knowledgeable. Not I want to win the debate at the dinner. I want to figure this out. That decision, that quiet personal commitment is what that turns information into understanding, and understanding into something that actually matters. Remember those two surgeons from the beginning? The one too narrow to see the complications, the one too broad to execute the operation. The surgeon the world actually needs knows their craft so deeply they can perform under pressure, has looked broadly enough to see what others miss, and chose this work not because it was strategic, but because they decided this was the problem they want to spend their life getting better at. That surgeon exists in medicine, in business, in science, in every field that actually moves forward. And that surgeon can be you. Go deep enough to be trusted, go broad enough to be dangerous, and choose a problem worth both. If this made you think differently, even slightly, that's enough. Take the framework, ask the question, start where you are. And if you want to go deeper on how the best thinkers build knowledge that compounds, the next video is already waiting for you.